Hello everyone, Rabbi Abe here. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about the relationship between your money, sex, and food. What's the connection? In fact, how you may even be able to increase the flow of your sustenance, the flow of your money, by understanding how to adjust sexual connections and food. So let's get into it. And a couple of things first, just to lay the foundation before we can understand what the relationship is. Well, very simply put, food and sex have a very intimate connection with each other. So think about it this way. Sex is required to create new life. Food is required to sustain life. So these two things, sex and food, are obviously very important things. The thing is, both of these things, if we can call them that, both of these things, both sex and food, are the highest form of pleasure in this world for the human being, Because we spend most of our time, think about it. If you're planning to go to a resort, all inclusive, what are you looking for online these days? How many restaurants they have, and what type of food they're going to serve, and think about it. Really think about it. What we spend so much of our time planning around is food. Now, once you get to that resort, what are you going to be doing over there? Well, hopefully something besides hanging out in the bedroom. But that's probably going to be a part of it for most people. So the thing is, again, pleasure is a wonderful thing, and we are here to have pleasure. However, we should also understand that the pleasure that we take, I'm trying to use my words carefully, the pleasure that we take takes the space of sustenance. Why? Well, what is sustenance? Sustenance is a cosmic force of energy that has a source. It has an ultimate source. So when we work or do business, we make effort, okay? For whatever it is that we do, we are putting in energy. That's what we do when we work. It can be mental energy, physical energy, combination of the two. We put energy in, what's the result? We should get something out in return. As an exchange of our energy, we get money, okay? Now, when we put the energy in, the energy comes out, again, it's a form of energy of fulfillment. That's what it is. It's an energy. And that energy fulfills us. Again, it's an exchange of our energy. Now, what happens when we eat? Are we receiving an energy? And the answer is yes, we are. Imagine you're starving and you're craving a particular food, and that's all good. You make effort to go and, if it's to go to a restaurant, to go out, or to cook, or to do whatever it is that you do, to indulge in the food that you wanted to eat. Again, up until this point, nothing really wrong with it. And I don't want to say wrong, but the more we are focused, because it awakens our desire very much. Hunger of the body awakens the desire. And that's why also, hand in hand, there are so many food-related issues. There are those that say, and the Kabbalah agrees, that 99% of the diseases of the body occur as a result of food, wrong way of eating, eating too much, eating too little, eating the wrong foods, eating at the wrong times. There's lots going on with the food that we eat. Worst thing to do is go shopping when you're hungry. Why? Because you're out of control. You're going to buy things that you don't need, that you didn't really want, but you were starving when you went to shop. We all know that that's the wrong time to go shopping. The point is, when we've finished gorging ourselves, if that's what we've done, what happens to our desire? Even on the physical level, you may become lethargic, you may become, lose interest in something important that you needed to do, and you say, yeah, it's good, I'll do it later. And when you don't eat, again, how do you feel when you don't eat, when you're hungry? Generally, a person is more energetic. When they limit the food or limit the time that they eat. So I don't want to go into a whole class about food, it's for another time. But we should definitely be careful. If we want the sustenance, we need to be more careful about how we eat, what we eat, and when we eat it. As a general rule, and I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not giving you advice on how to eat. Consult with your, whoever you use to give you advice about food. But I'll tell you what I do. I make the effort to eat fruits. And this is not a unique idea. In the morning, up until 12, nothing but fruit. And that should take me through, till the early afternoon. Now, what is the logic behind that? First off, the fruits give you energy. They also continue your cleansing process from when you were sleeping. You're supposed to be cleansing. Therefore, you also should not eat at a minimum, bare minimum, of 3 hours before you go to sleep at night, because you do not want your digestive system busy digesting food. It zaps your energy. Now, when I say your energy, I'm not only talking about your physical energy. I'm talking about your spiritual vessel, your capacity to receive. What do we want to receive? Sustenance. If you're interested in more sustenance, and that is more money, what is money? Again, it's an exchange of energy. You put out energy, you're getting something in return. But if you fulfill it already with food, and everything I said about food also goes for sex, because there's a right time and way, and there's, a less right time that will take your energy away. And while I'm not going to go into the deeper details of that, if you just have sex at any whim, any time you feel like it, you will lose at least 75 to 80% of your productive energy. And what we will find is most successful people actually limit. They are more in control of their bodily functions, including food and including sex. Many years ago, I was a big fan of Napoleon Hill. And if you, do a little research, if you don't know about Napoleon Hill, who he was, at the turn of the century, he is known as one of the fathers of positive thinking and showing people how to become successful. And he was a very deep guy. When I was about 18 or 19 years old, I began to read Think and Grow Rich. I also read a book called Law of Success. And in there, he talked very sublime things that probably most people are not aware of, even if you've read the basic books. He talked about energy. He talked about the fact that thoughts are energy, and he talked about sexual energy, how to use it for success. And it's very interesting what he said, what he wrote in his book, Law of Success. Highly recommended if you can find it. And he spoke about a principle called sexual transmutation. Now, basically, what that meant in a nutshell, and I'm really abbreviating here, is limiting the amount of sex that a person would have until they reached a certain goal. Now, it's not exactly using sex as a reward for yourself, but it was more about not wasting your energy in anything, not on extraneous words, not on extraneous sex, and also we can add to that, not on extraneous food. You know, if you eat the moment you feel, oh, a little pang, and now I need to have a snack. Some people need that, but not everybody needs that, okay? Especially if you have a sweet tooth or a carb tooth. Again, what you're going to find is the food that you eat will tend to make you tired. It is a karmic correction. And when you are tired, again, it is because your energetic vessel has become fulfilled. Now, when you're fulfilled, what do you need more? Even if you need the money, but your sustenance is going to have less space in your vessel. So, again, what do? We should limit the times and have specific times when we eat, and also have some rules for ourselves about when we have sex. As a general rule, it's better to have sexual connections after it's dark out or at nighttime, where you're finished working, you've completed the day's work, and you're with your loved ones. Okay, you know, if both of you are there. Now, the sex that you have, that's also a discussion, okay? The sex must come from love. It must. If it doesn't come from a place of love and just comes from an animalistic need that you feel right now, that you gotta have, you will lose energy. If it comes from true love, you will gain energy. That's a fact. That's a fact. Sex that comes from love, especially at nighttime, gives a person more energy and more motivation for the next day. Again, that's why the timing is also quite important, because at nighttime it provides a certain energy which prepares us for the next day. You don't prepare for the next day in the last day. You're still working on the day. But at night, when the day is complete, as the sun goes down, we have a vessel. That's why it's dark. It's a sort of an empty vessel of sorts. Now we can put stuff in it. What we are enjoying in the daytime is the energy that we can be creating in the night preceding. Okay? So again, the timing is important. The consciousness is important that it needs to come from love. And the same thing with your food. You should also only eat food that you love. Don't eat food just to fill your belly. Mistake. It will rob you of energy. Eat food, again, provided that this food is suitable for you. Not every food that we love is good for us. I mean, I love pizza doesn't mean, that I should, gorge myself on pizza. But we need to establish the foods that we really have a connection to, and that's the best way to say it. Foods that we can have a connection to that are also good for us particularly. Not everything is good for everyone. And when you eat, enjoy it. Now, what do I mean by enjoy it? Eat properly by elevating the food that you're eating, because there's energy there. We need to elevate it. Now, that's a big discussion, but let me just give you an insight how to do that. When you eat, chew your food. Make sure you chew your food, because by chewing the food, we separate negative and positive forces, the physical from the energy of the food. Make sure you chew, 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 chew. They say 50 times. It seems a bit long to me, but properly chew is very important because negativity comes into the body through food, which is not properly chewed. It's one of the ways that negativity enters into the body. Okay? But when we chew, we should concentrate, meditate on the pleasure. On the pleasure. That's why God gave us the food, to enjoy it. But if you eat food and you don't enjoy it, that actually is a problem. Okay? Because where does the food go? The energy of the food that you don't enjoy, that you eat, doesn't go to a good place. It can create negativity for us. So again, you should have pleasure from the food that you eat. Connect to appreciation. Okay? Connect to appreciation. Say a blessing of your choice before you eat to awaken appreciation. Eat it, chew, and concentrate to enjoy that at the fullest and share that energy, that pleasure that you feel with all the people in your life. Sounds silly? Not at all. You're creating an energy shield around you. You're creating a spiritual vessel for more sustenance to come in. Try it. Sex, I don't mean try sex, but the way we spoke about, and food the way we spoke about, and you'll see, you will create for sure more openings not only for sustenance, but for more opportunities of sustenance to come in. Because everything comes from one source. We need to remember that. There's one source of everything, the sustenance, and when we are harnessing the energy of the two most powerful forces of sustenance in our life, which is sex, remember it creates life, and food, which sustains life, those two, if we limit the negativity that can come in from those things, we open ourselves to more sustenance that the universe wants to give us. Be blessed, everyone. Be blessed. And remember, where your head is at, that's where you're at. All the best, guys. All the best.